So today when I'm looking at just one pair of GritSox, we're looking at 2 pairs of GritSox. My friends over at GritSox, at GRIT, have kindly sent me 2 pairs of their socks to test, as well as 2 sets of laces and 2 wristbands as well, so thank you to them. But the GritSox I'm using today are their Pro 3 GritSox and their Elite GritSox. So let's look at the specs of each of the socks. Now with the Pro 3 GritSox, they, just from design, they look very, very promising because they are reminiscent of true socks, so that's a good start. So you got your grips running down the heel, and you can see they're not like the normal silicone, they're more kind of this kind of suede polyurethane kind of grip material, which from my experience is usually a better performing grip sock. Not only that, but the grips are on the inside of the socks as well, so let me just turn them inside out. So yeah, you get double the underfoot traction with these socks. On top of that, you have the anatomical fit, so one fits left foot, one fits the right foot, and apart from that, they have like your usual kind of properties of a sports sock or football sock. So you got your compression fit for like that, you know, more increased blood flow. You got your sweat wicking material as well, mesh on the forefoot for more breathability, and they come in 4 different colors. Price wise, these will cost you £26.32. It's a bit weird because it's being converted from dollars to pounds. And then moving on to the Elite GritSox, they have a grip pattern which is very, very unique. You can see it looks like all these like zigzag lines, and it's made from that kind of more kind of regular silicone material that you tend to see on most grip socks. The grips are only on the outside of the socks on this one though. And just from like feeling them, they are a bit more thick and cushioned than the Pro 3 GritSox. Again, these are anatomical and they'll have the kind of same similar properties as you would get from a normal sports sock. So like again, a bit more compressive, sweat wicking material, as well as that kind of mesh on the forefoot for more breathability. Or should I say top of your foot, should I say. And as far as the website goes, I think these only come in white. Maybe there's more colors on the way, who knows? And in terms of price, these will cost you £18.60. Now we're going to look at the performance of each of the socks, and we're going to put them head to head to see which one is overall better. For this, I'll be looking at 4 different things. So comfort and fit, the try-on test, the insole slide test, and just overall performance. So let's start with comfort and fit. So this is what the Pro 3s look like on feet. In terms of thickness, they're a bit on the thinner side. They're not as cushioned as you'd find with some other grip socks, but you know, it's got its benefits. You've got, you know, the heels running up on the back. I would say though, I think something that's probably underappreciated is this kind of red outline that you see on the grip sock. So I think that's there to kind of show you how they should sit. So if you can see your grips, I think maybe that's you're putting them on in the wrong way, and the outline kind of just shows you that you shouldn't see your grips at all. You should be seeing the outlines, and that you'll get your maximum out of your grip socks because, you know, all of it will be underfoot rather than on the side. So putting on your boots might be a bit harder because of that as well. So yeah, make sure the outline of the sock is always facing upwards and you can't see any of the grips when you're wearing them like this. But comfort wise, they're not bad at all, but I wish they were a tiny bit more cushioned. But this, again, it might be a preference thing because, you know, depending on how your boots fit in the first place, maybe you don't have that much room for more cushioned grip sock. So a thinner pair of grip socks can be beneficial in this scenario. And these are what the Elite ones look like on feet. Cushioned, very comfortable, no issues there. There is a bit of tiny bunching. I guess that's because, you know, it's a sizing range rather than just like the exact size. So, you know, there's going to be a tiny bit of bunching if you're going to be at like the lower end of the sizing ranges, like I think I am. But yeah, in terms of comfort, no real issues. Fit, nothing really bad, I'd say. But yeah, overall very good in terms of comfort and fit, in my opinion. Now the try-on test is something quite novel. It doesn't really tell you if a grip sock is going to be good or bad. But I know that a problem that a lot of people have with grip socks is that they find it harder to put their boots on with them. So simply I'm going to try on 4 different types of boot constructions with each of the grip socks and see how well I get on, if there's any kind of difficulties putting the boots on at all. So for the try-on test, I'm going to put the boots on in real time so you can see how easy or hard it is to put the boots on with the socks. So first, I'm going to have your one-piece construction. This is the Shadow Pro 3, if anyone's interested. So first of all, let's go. See, no real difficulties there, in my opinion. Next, your kind of more traditional U-throat construction. Everyone knows which boot this is. If you don't, it's Nike Havoc and the Phantom. This is the RGN, you can see from the sole plate. So let's go. Again, no real difficulty. Laceless Adidas X F50 Elite. Again, no real difficulties, just maybe just need to like unfold some stuff as you normally do. But yeah, no real difficulties with putting the boots on with the grip socks so far. And then usually the hardest one is the mid cut, so high cut, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, sock boot, what a lot of people call them. So let's see how hard or easy it is to put these on. So tiny bit of difficulty, but that's to be expected. But yeah, no real issues in putting the boots on with these socks. So that's an easy 4 over 4. So again, we're trying each boot on with a different type of boot construction. So laceless first. Can't remember which order I went in first, but with the other ones, but here we go. So let's see. Okay, I'd say there's a tiny bit more kind of effort needed to put these socks on with these boots at least. Let's see if it goes with the other ones as well. Here we go again. This is like your more U-throat construction. Let's see. Okay, yeah, definitely a little bit more effort is needed to put these socks on with the boots. Then your one-piece construction. Yeah, I'd say definitely more effort is needed to put these socks on with boots generally. And then the most difficult one usually is this one, so your high cut or mid cut. So let's see how I get on. Okay, yeah, a bit difficult, and I think I've, you know, scratched up the insole inside my boot as well. So yeah, definitely a bit more difficult to put these elite ones on compared to the Pro 3. Next is probably one of my favorite parts of testing out GritSox is the slide test. Now this is another kind of like novel test. It doesn't necessarily kind of tell if a GritSox is good or bad, but it's to kind of give you an impression of how good the grip of the sock is, because I can't put a camera inside my boots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide on a pair of insoles from a football boot with each grip sock, and I'm going to spray the grip sock and the insole with water to kind of simulate sweat. Because as you know, with some materials, if they get wet, they become more slippery, so it's good to see how good they perform when there's a bit of moisture. But do please take this test with a pinch of salt. Now for the insole slide test. So for a good pair of grip socks, the insole should slide with the socks because it's gripped to the sock itself. So let's see how it performs. See? This is what you want to see. You know, you're only able to do the cha-cha slide in these, and you can definitely do that in these. See how it sticks to the insole as I move my foot. A lot of the time you'll see people hardly trying to move their feet when they try and wear grip socks, as if like they'll be like this. I can't move my feet. That makes no sense, because the grip is supposed to be between your sock and the insole, not the sock and the ground. You should be able to move your feet with the insole when it's like this. And then again for the insole test, same again. Spray the insole with water, and then spray the grip sock as well. Still very good. As you can see, insole sticks to the sock, which is what you want to see. Now in terms of performance, I played in each of these socks several times. So a few weeks ago I played in the annual boots versus shirts match, so I played a half in each of these socks, as well as just doing like individual training drills for my pre-season by myself. So also I use the exact same boots for these, because you know boots can be a factor in terms of how you experience your grip socks. So in the boots versus shirts match, I use my pair of Adidas Garage shoes, and for these kind of solo training sessions I use a pair of Adidas X 15.1s. I use those pair of boots, should I say, because they're called, well, I call them my slippers. Not because they're comfortable, they are comfortable, but because of how much heel slippage I have in those boots. They're actually the reason why I started wearing grip socks as well. So I kind of use those as a kind of benchmark to see how good a grip sock is. So if it stops the heel slippage that I experience in those boots, then yeah, they're good to go. And when it comes to the Pro 3 grip socks, in terms of performance, they didn't really disappoint me. If they look like a true socks and they have the kind of like material like a true socks, they're going to perform just like a true socks. And they did. Like I said, when you see these kind of like grip material where it's kind of like more kind of suede fabric-y kind of material, their grip is usually probably the best on the market. So your WeFoot, your Apex, your True Socks, when they have this kind of material, performance-wise, immaculate, no complaints. With this kind of sock, you're going to feel more connected to your boot, and overall the playing experience just feels a lot more responsive. In the X 15.1s, literally no foot slippage whatsoever. You feel like you're stuck to the boot, which is what you want in a pair of grip socks. Well, what I want in a pair of grip socks. However, that feeling is not for everyone. Some people don't necessarily like the feeling of being like too stuck to their boot. Some people like a bit more give, which is understandable. With grip socks, a lot of it is down to personal preference, but in terms of just objective performance and just gripping and like doing the one thing that grip socks are supposed to do, they do a very good job. With the Elite grip socks as well, I had a very good experience. No, I wouldn't say the grip is as effective as on the Pro 3 though, and that's just because of the grip material, the fact that you don't have like the grips on the inside and the outside of the sock as well. But these two do a very good job in my opinion. They did reduce the heel slippage I did feel in the X15.1s, and they offer a more kind of cushion experience. You don't necessarily feel the like silicone grips when you play, which some people do with some other grip socks, so that's also a plus as well. If you're just looking for a grip sock that will kind of stop heel slippage, you have like heel slippage in your boots, it depends the amount of heel slippage. You know, you don't need to go like all the way to max 10 with something like this, or a True Socks or Apex, Weefu, etc. Something like more of like a middle ground, like in between, something that is probably like maybe a better option for you. Now I do have certain things I would change about each grip sock. So with the Pro 3, the thing I would change is maybe the bottom of the sock, if they offered maybe like a cushioned alternative as well. So these are like pretty thin compared to like a regular grip sock. So yeah, if maybe there's a more cushioned version, that might be a bit better in terms of the comfort aspect of the sock itself. And then another thing is like a slight concern with the durability of the sock as well. So after one wear, you can see that there's a slight kind of like as if a bit of abrasion has like caused some of the material on the grip to kind of like, I wouldn't say like peel off, but it's gonna be scraped off. So on the long term, I don't know how bad that will be, but it only seems to be on the heel grips, as should I say. So maybe it's like abrasion in the heel, or maybe the fact that I was wearing my Adlers and they were brand new as well when I wore them. So I don't know if that's like constant scraping because they feel a bit snug and then they have to stretch over time. So that could be a reason as well. But overall, they didn't really reduce the performance of the grip, but maybe, I don't know, if you have different shaped feet, it could be a different thing for you. And with the Elite grip socks, the thing I would change is maybe possibly, because you can get like grips on the inside and outside, possibly you can get grips on the inside of these as well. I'm not too convinced about the grip pattern. I don't know if it's overkill or not. It does a good job, but I don't know if necessarily needs to be as like, you know, whoever probably manufactured this has probably done the research into why the grip pattern is like this, of course. Maybe it's just my kind of ignorance in that sense, but I don't know, maybe you can change the grip pattern so it's not such an overkill. And then of course, as always, maybe you can add some heel grips like on the heel as well, because some people do have heel lift in their boots. Overall, I do think they are very good pairs of grip socks. Obviously, I think the Pro 3 is just better in terms of performance. The Elite though is better in terms of comfort in my opinion, but overall, very good grip socks. And yeah, if you want to buy a set for yourselves, you can use the link in the description. I'll take you to the website where you can purchase the socks. But that's been it for the video. Once again, thank you to GritSox for sending me the socks as well as the laces and the wristbands. And thank you guys for watching. My name is Sub. This is Substance Football. See you next time.